to the Mark West Sports Podcast.
I can't wait for the season to start, man. But another season that we are waiting to start is the hurricane season, of course. And I want to make this transition because I've been doing my research. I've been doing all kinds of stuff, preparing for this season. Did you know that Coach Gattis coached Tua in college? You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
no, he got some ticket to the game.
Man, it was that year that he had actually both Jalen Hurts and Tua, but Tua started most of the season, and it was the year that he got hurt. It was the year that he got hurt. Remember when he had that hip injury?
Yeah,
so
when he landed on his body.
Josh Gattis was actually the OC or the passing game coordinator. One of the two like that. I was just like, dang. And then I look back too, like he coached Hackenberg at Penn State, who is trash now. Everybody thought he was going to be great because in college he was good, and then he got to the NFL and was trash. So that makes you think like, damn, so Gattis made this guy look good. And then he moved on to McSorley. He was more of a running quarterback, so he's got experience with a running quarterback and a drop back pass. Then he goes to Michigan, totally turns them around offensively, who couldn't do anything offensively, and had I think an average quarterback in Shea Patterson at quarterback, but was able to get them to the playoffs somehow. Now you put him in a situation with a proven quarterback, basically a rebuilt offense, a rebuilt coaching staff, basically a new Miami, and the sky's the limit of what this offense can do with this guy, Josh Gattis. And he's out there recruiting too. He's also the receivers coach as well, which is why he's able to get these receivers locked in early for the recruiting class to get, speedsters like Ray and Robbie Washington. And next up, it's probably going to be Hakeem Williams, possibly. I spoke to Hakeem Williams yesterday at the 7-on-7 tournament, and he said that the fact that Gattis is also a wide receivers coach is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him. That's what he said. I'm just saying exactly what he said from the horse's mouth, and you can read the story on CanesCounty.com. And he's still trying to get other receivers as well. Will Fowles, another dynamic receivers in the mix as well. Andy Jean, former decommit. He decommitted from Miami because the former wide receivers coach was basically fired or because of the new coaching staff. So these kids, they develop a bond with the coach. And so when that coach left, he was like, nah, I'm going to open up my recruitment. But he just put out his top 5 last week, and Miami's in the top 5. So we'll see what happens with our boy Andy Jean, who plays out of Miami Northwestern. He's been a great player for years over there at the West. So the wide receiving and recruiting has been great, but recruiting overall has been spectacular as usual. We saw Jayden Wayne, a 5-star defensive end. To me, he looks just like Jason Taylor, like the way he looks, like physically, and what he does on the field already in high school. He's the same size as Jason Taylor right now, and he's only like 18. Got to be 17, 18 years old.
The same size?
Same size as Jason Taylor right now. He's like 6'6", 245, something like that. So and he's going to be learning from who? Jason Taylor.
Hall of Famer.
At Miami, former Dolphin, Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer, as Wes said, is the defensive analyst at Miami. And that's part of the reason why he committed to the University of Miami. And then also we got, Francis Mauigoa out of IMG, Riley Williams, the tight end, who I said I believe the last podcast that I already told you that he was committing to the U. Tomorrow, exclusive on the Mark West Sports Podcast, Raul Aguirre committed to Miami. I'm just going to put it out there right now. Linebacker. He's originally from Miami. He's originally from the crib, moved to Atlanta and, played high school in Atlanta, 4-star linebacker. He's an inside linebacker too.
That's the Puerto Rican? I think he's Puerto Rican.
I think he might be Puerto Rican. I know he's Hispanic for sure.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So he seen from what I'm hearing, from sources, he's going to be locking in with Miami tomorrow. They
and
definitely
he's a 4-star?
4-star linebacker, yeah. 4-star inside linebacker, some position Miami desperately needs depth with.
Yes.
Because to be honest, when this season starts, it's gonna be Corey Flagg and probably Wesley Basaint, who just come to Miami, is probably gonna be playing in that at that other linebacker position. And to get a linebacker like that right now is just great, and he hasn't even taken an official visit yet. Like, I don't know if you know, Wes, but every player has 5 official visits that they could take. Official visits is like basically all the focus is on you during the visit. They take you out, to places, whatever happens. But, a lot of things happen on these recruiting trips. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I think
he wants just the women, the weather.
Yeah. So I don't know. Did you see that video about the team went out?
I seen him on that high speed boat looking like Thunder in Paradise when Hulk Hogan was on that boat. You feel me? Like, I'm like, yo, it looked like I was on a boat. I'm over here enjoying seeing them over there. I'm like, damn, man, that's good. Because, recently we was just on the yacht. So I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what they're going through. I'm loving every moment of it. Soak it in. Hopefully all you guys not even from anywhere where they have a beach that's not miles and miles away. Hopefully y'all only have a pool. So when they did take you to that little boat ride or jet boat ride, whatever they call that, hopefully I could soak that in, because I was like, look, it's like they was recruiting me. You feel me? I was excited. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So it was good to see that video. The recruits see that, they're gonna want to come to the crib. So the other player that we gotta look out for is Jayden Wayne, who is this kid's explosive, bro. This kid comes with bad intentions. He comes and rocks you. Yeah, he's safety. He comes and rocks you, and he's from Jersey. And from what everything's being kept kind of quiet about his recruitment, because Ohio State is in the race for him. But from what I hear, it's trending towards in the right direction for Jayden Wayne. So those are really kind of the next 2 recruits to kind of look out for. And then the week after that, you got Malik Bryant, who's a 4-star linebacker. And then you got Payton Kirkland, 4-star offensive tackle, that are committing on the same day. They both from Orlando, and they both committed on the same day. I'm hearing mixed things about Malik Bryant. Yesterday I heard from a source that he's not coming. Today I heard from a source that he is coming. So I don't know. So we'll see. That may come to the final day. But the other kid, Payton Kirkland, lock him in. He's coming to Miami. That's a kid that had fell in love with the coaching staff a long time ago. When I say a long time ago, earlier in the year when I spoke to him, he told me then that Miami's got the best coaching staff in the country. He already knew then. And this was back in maybe February or January when I saw him at Under Armour camp. Okay. And so since then, he's had an official visit. He was on the same official visit with Jaden Rashada, Francis Mauigoa, and Robert Stafford. All of them have committed to Miami already.
What's going on?
So he's the last piece of that official visit group to commit to Miami. He set the date July 23rd a while back, so he's committing on that date. So we're waiting for him. So those are really kind of the next pieces to fall. But I mean, there's more good news that I could share as well. I mean, Samuel Mpemba, athlete, edge rusher, put Miami in his top 7. And there's offensive tackle, 5-star, call him Pancake.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, he's probably the most athletic offensive tackle in this recruiting class right now. And he likes what he sees from Miami, has Miami in his top schools. He hasn't put out a commitment date yet, but everything seems to be trending well for Miami with him as well. And if you get all those players, bro, like if you just get just the ones that I said are going to commit like this week, it's just going to be like the snowball effect. And then winning has to take it to this next level. You know what I'm saying? If they win these games, like first they got Bethune, should be a blowout. Southern Miss after that, should be a blowout. And then it's Texas A&M, 3rd game of the season. So going into that game, you want to have all the momentum like in the world, you know, and make that a close game. And then after that, you got Middle Tennessee. I'm looking at the schedule right now. Middle Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Duke, Virginia. Virginia always gives us problems, especially as of late. You know, I know you know this, Wes. I'm not sure why, and Virginia's got a good quarterback. That same quarterback, he's a dual threat quarterback with the dreads. I know you remember.
That's the one I hate.
Yeah, he is still with Virginia, and that game is in Virginia. So I'd be kind of, you know, could be a trap game. And then you got Florida State, which I think they definitely gonna beat this time because we're at home and they are still mad, probably from last year losing with that garbage 4th and 14 call that we're not going to speak about because we spoke about it too many times.
They're going to be mad about that recruit that signed with didn't he sign with us instead of signing with them? That was a recruit that they thought that he was going to Florida State, and the last minute he changed his mind, came to Miami. They probably mad about that too.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Miami is out recruiting Florida and Florida State like badly right now. You know, like Tommy Kingsler is another offensive lineman just decommitted from Florida. I would say 90% he's coming to Miami. You know,
you want to be on the winning team.
Yeah. So I mean, he committed to Florida, went on a visit to Miami, decommitted from Florida. That's exactly how it happened. So, and now he's trending towards Miami. So we'll see when he commits. But like, hey, I don't know what they got going on over there in Coral Gables, but just the ball and his staff got the juice right now.
Yo, as far as you know, football, you know, the Canes is doing their thing. But you remember when I sent you that video of that 14-year-old Tyler Parker?
Yeah.
Yo, I sent that I sent it to you like, you know, the day prior. The next day, he was viral everywhere. I was like, what the hell is going on? You know, I had to post that. But the guy is 14 years old, 295 pounds. You feel me? I'm over here sending it to you because I'm like, man, can he send this to anybody in the Canes so they could go ahead and follow him so they could, you know, by the time I looked up, Coach Salavea already followed him. So I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? Like, this is the type of stuff that I want to hear, that I want to see. You know, they ain't say that he's following him. I just went on the guy's page, and, you know, if you're following somebody, they're going to be like, all right, this person follows him as well. And when I seen that, I'm like, all right, perfect. We good. You know what I mean? Because if Mario Cristobal hear about you, trust me, he's going to be on you continuously until he actually gets you. Or, like he said, he don't mind being in second place because you can always come back to Dade County, Kings County, if you don't like where you're at, you know, and we don't got no state tax. So, you know, if you sign an NIL deal, majority of that thing gonna stay in your bank and not go to, you know, anybody else. But yeah, man, I seen this dude look like a beast. You know, I'm like, he looked like Aaron Donald, or he looks bigger than Aaron Donald. I hear people comparing them. I'm like, yo, he's athletic. He's big and he's 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never seen somebody like that before. If you're like that, certain people are built a certain way. Shaq, Zion, yeah, like y'all freaks, y'all like LeBron. Like, people don't see you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. The University of Miami, please, like, I'm asking you guys, like, to stay on him, be on his back, and if you ever get a chance to ask these questions, because I know you're gonna be basically covering the Canes all season from now and until whenever. Feel free to ask, have you heard about this 14-year-old, this, that, and the other? Just, because I know you say you got a good relationship with Gattis right now, Coach Gattis. Like, if, I know I've seen Salavea, following him, but, put it in, Gattis' ear too. Like, yo, I know you see this kid. I know you are a quarterback's coach or a wide receivers coach, whatever it is. But I am truly a Canes fan. You know what it says, CanesCounty.com. You feel me? It don't say, so I'm on your side, so I can kind of swim. I'm not gonna swim in your direction, but I could kind of push them in your direction where you could kind of, see where they're going. But I seen that. But one thing they've been talking about, like, recently, like, that I'm kind of getting me confused is the them splitting the divisions. As far as it seemed like the ACC is done. It looked like Florida State and Clemson's are going to the SEC with the other boys. Do you think Miami stay in the ACC? Because from what I was hearing on the radio recently, this morning, it was like they're going to kind of do it like the AFC and the NFC. You're going to have like a certain amount of teams on one side and a certain amount of teams on the other side. And then when I heard that, I'm like, damn, that's the reason why Zoe wound up being general manager at the University of Miami. We normally the first to do it. We was the first to sign, to talk about paying the players. Everybody was, talking, but we were the first to actually put it on pen and paper. And I think they got the foresight that this is where it's headed. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they got the general manager, Zoe, in place because he's going to be a general manager like somebody that was in the NFL, but he's doing it for college football because I think that's where we're headed. That's what they're talking. But if we was to go anywhere, where would you want to go? You want to go to the Big Ten? I think it's the SEC, or I think it's the Big Ten. I think it's the Big Ten.
I looked into the whole thing, and it's crazy for traditionalists, I guess, like myself, when it comes to college football, to see teams like USC and UCLA go to the Big Ten. It just doesn't make a lot of logical sense, because you got these two West Coast teams going to play these Midwest teams, but it's all about dollars. And the thing is, I looked into it about Miami leaving the ACC, and they're in a contract with the ACC until 2036. So in order for them to leave the conference, I think it's like $500 million.
Yep.
that they have to pay, which is crazy for a university to pay that type of money, just to get out of a conference. Yeah, it would pay dividends in the long run, but in the short term, you're going to be a little bit upside down. So I don't think it's going to happen with any of the ACC teams, which is fine because then you just get to dominate the ACC and you only have to deal with Clemson and maybe Florida State if they come back to life. So I don't actually want them to move to a different conference. But if they did, it'd be great to go to the SEC because that means you will get to play Florida every year.
Oh my God. Yes. They've been fighting for years.
Who's been notorious for ducking teams, although they play not this year. I think 2024. They play us. We play them back-to-back years, by the way, coming up in like 2 years. Not this year, but the one after that and the one after that. And then they play UCF and they play Florida State. They play all four of the major teams in 1 year. I was like, okay, so y'all trying to come back now. And which is great for me because I hate Florida. I hate the Gators more than I hate Florida State.
Me too.
And it means they on panic mode over there. And they getting beat, they getting dogged out in recruiting, bro. You know, I'm all over this, and they're getting dogged right now in recruiting. You know, they got a couple of guys here and there. They got a Penn State guy to flip over to them, quarterback out of Jacksonville, and then they had a running back also out of Jacksonville who was pretty decent, Trayon Webb, commit to Florida as well. But it doesn't look like this class that Miami's got, and the Miami players that's potentially coming in is going to dominate the state of Florida. Right now, they are just killing recruiting. And this class looks great right now, but 2024 could be even better. That like they can have like a number one class in 2024, especially since a lot of those great players are down here in South Florida.
Yeah, and I think now we got a number 7 class in the nation. I think, you know, we started in the 70s, we jumped up to like 18, and I think 13, and 8, and I think now we're 7. You know what I'm saying? And we still got these players that you already mentioned that's possibly gonna join the University of Miami. So if that wind up happening, kid, like, yo, me personally, I don't care how many of these players come over here as long as we win. You know, I'm on the bottom dollar. The bottom line is what I worry about. You feel me? Same thing when it comes to the Dolphins, when it comes to the Heat, when it comes to the Canes. As long as we win, I don't care. Now, I would love for the game to be exciting. Interceptions here, there, everywhere. You know, touchdowns here, there, everywhere. I would love that. You feel me? But if we just win the game and always in contention, because again, we both said that we don't expect Miami to win a national championship in 1 year, but 2-3 years ahead, I want to be in contention. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if we could continuously always be in contention, continuously have the media talking about it, because there's no way you can't talk about us. We got TVD on our actual team right now. We got one of the best, if not the best, coaching staff in NCAA right now. How can you deny the coverage that we've been screaming about? You know what I'm saying? You can't deny it, and it's football. Yeah. You know, this is a football town. This is a football state. Yeah, we got the Miami Heat, but it's football everything. You know what I mean? Like everybody, kids normally play football. Yeah, here and there, if you know to stay out of trouble, you can play basketball too if you want. But majority of the time, everybody's on football. You know, from the Pop Warner all the way to high school, college, you know, to the NFL. It's all football. So again, at the end of the day, as long as we win, I don't care who it is. I don't care if TVD, you know, well, hopefully nothing happened to him. But if something was to happen to him and anybody else step up and, you know, I don't mind. Do your thing. Catch them balls. Put a hit stick on any one of these guys. Get a fumble, interception. I don't care as long as we win. So I can talk trash to all those people that said something negative about the Canes.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And to be honest, I don't see any reason why we are not going to be celebrating like we used to in the early 2000s, like we used to in the early 90s and the 80s. There's no reason why this team shouldn't be successful in 2 to 3 years. There really isn't no reason, because you have Gattis, who potentially, you know, may move on to something else. You never know what these coaches do. They trying to elevate their careers, and you can't really be mad at them. But for now, you got to think Gattis is going to be there for at least 2 years, at the bare minimum. You know, so he won the award for the best recruiter. Okay. He turned around an offense that, you know, as I alluded to, that was, you know, stagnant before. And then you got a defensive coordinator. You've got one who's been there for a long time in Kevin Steele, who coached like Auburn's and you know, just big name SEC teams, who knows about the fundamentals of football. And I think that's what's been missing as far as tackling is concerned, because there's been an issue with just tackling. You know, last season, I mean, like, you couldn't watch a Hurricane game without seeing the opposition break at least 4 or 5 tackles.
They're trying to do hit sticks.
Yeah, so I think that part is going to be fixed. And I think they're motivating the dog to come out of these players was missing as well. And I saw these coaches coach these players at Legends Camp. And Legends Camp is supposed to be like, hey, we're bringing in the alumni, you know what I'm saying? Talk to the alumni type of thing. That's supposed to be like the wow factor. Nah, this camp, they work these kids hard. Like I spoke to one of the kids and one of the running backs that they're looking at, Chris Johnson, one of the fastest running backs in Florida, if not the fastest. And he said himself, he was like, I've never been to a camp where they worked me as hard like that, you know? So they already thinking in their heads, like, okay, so this coach can really get me to my highest greatness, you know what I'm saying? And if they're doing that with camp guys, high school kids who are not on their team, imagine what they're going to do to their guys who are on the team. So I think they're really going to motivate these guys to really be the best that they can be. So you add Cristobal, who's he's an amazing recruiter in himself. And then you already have DeMarcus Van Dyke, he's a guy, the guys that they kept on the coaching staff are guys who are from the crib, you know what I'm saying? Who are guys who, you know, these kids relate to, like Coach Field, who's the tight ends coach, who stay getting great tight ends to come here and produce on the field. And then you got Coach DeMarcus Van Dyke, who they call him DVD, used to play defensive back at the U, and the kids really seemed to bond with him. And he coached at the youth level in Miramar as well. So you got those two guys, and then you bring in the cornerbacks coach from Georgia, coming from a championship winning squad, you know what I'm saying? And then he bring two of his boys from Oregon, the offensive line coach, Alex Maribal, and Joe Salavea, the defensive tackle. So you already have the range from the West Coast, because you basically had three guys, including Cristobal, who are recruiting on the West Coast. That's why you're able to get a Jayden Wayne, who's from Washington State. You know, get Riley Williams, who's also from Washington State. You know, Jaden Rashada, who's from California. They got the range like that. And then it's also going international as well. You hear the names that we calling out: Mauigoa, Samoan, Okunlola, Nigerian descent. They are also looking at this offensive tackle from Finland, Olas Alainen, you know, who's a 6'6" offensive tackle. You know, we're gonna be battling with Alabama for that guy, but it's almost got this international flavor, which fits perfectly with Miami. You know, we international all day right here. So I think Miami has all the tools to make a championship run at the ACC this year, make a playoff run next year, and win a national championship the year after that. I mean, everything is in the cards for that to happen. And I know you probably, you know, people who are not Hurricanes fans, people who are Hurricanes fans are listening to me like, yeah, I'm hyped, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. But people who are not Hurricanes fans that are watching this is like, come on. You just being a homer, you know. Of course you would say that type of thing, but it's just common sense, though. We finally put in the money behind it. You got this coaching staff, and I didn't even mention Charlie Strong, who was a former head coach, who was a co-defensive coordinator. So you got two people that you blaming in case the defense messes up. You know, so you got two kind of people that are going to be accountable for each other of what the defense does on a regular basis. And you got Strong, who's focusing just on the linebackers. You got a head coach at Louisville, Texas, and now he's just concentrating on the linebackers. Like, come on, like everything that's happening right now are recipes for success. I don't really see any reason why the Hurricanes should. I mean, the Hurricanes, this is the first season. So it's the first season. You got one recruiting class in. They're all freshmen right now. I mean, some of those Manny Diaz recruits are actually good. I mean, Tyler Van Dyke, you know, was, you know, He's a Manny Diaz recruit. Xavier Restrepo, who I'm high on, is a Manny Diaz recruit. But you see what they did to that D line. That D line is totally different. You're not gonna recognize nobody on that D line except for Jafari Harvey and maybe Chance Williams. Everybody else is gonna be a. What's that?
They should have kept Nesta Silvera.
But I think he probably saw the writing on the wall and was like, "Oh, you guys are gonna bring in other guys. I'm probably not going to get starting time. I don't want to deal with that. Let me just go somewhere where I know I'm gonna play." You know, I think that's probably how it played out. You never know how it really played out, but yeah, keeping Nesta would have been great. But at the same time, you bringing in guys who are just as productive, or if not more productive on that D line. And then they're going to be coached up by people like Salavea and Jason Taylor and Rod White. They got another, who's out of, the Midwest area. He's recruiting that kid, David Hicks. That's another player I didn't mention. David Hicks is a big 5-star D tackle out of Texas that Miami has a chance to get. But later on down the line, because he's committing during the Under Armour game, which is like in January. And then they're still in contention for Kamani McClain, man. Money McClain, man. The number one DB in the nation. He's still, we'll see how that plays out, because Alabama and Florida are in the mix for him as well, but they're still in contention. And at this point, nobody's off the board, bro. Nobody's off the board.
Florida, you just was saying Florida's getting muddied in the recruiting trail. Yeah. It's Alabama and Miami. You don't even need to say Florida. Florida,
Ohio State too. They
okay. State. Miami, Ohio State, Alabama. Just take Florida completely out of the mix, because we know ain't nobody going over there. So I'm gonna be the only one, a 5-star over here, and everybody else is over here in Miami. Now party over here. Let me go over there. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, right. Hey, at the end of the day, man, like what you've been saying, and what we've been saying, this is what we've been wanting. We've been wanting Manny Diaz gone, especially because of that FSU game. And look, I remember when we was over here crabbing because we're like, damn, 3 months, no head coach, it's December, we don't know what's going on. And look, patience is a virtue, kid. You feel me? Because if when people used to tell you that, you'd be like, man, shut up, man. You just want somebody to just calm down right now. No. We really seeing the fruits of the patience that the Canes fans been having in Kane County about our University of Miami. We've been suffering pain for years. Dolphins and the University of Miami, we were comparing the O-lines, we were comparing the quarterbacks, you feel me? So just the plain fact that all of this is happening. And truly, I'm happy it's happening right now. While I'm a little older, I appreciate it more. Yeah, I appreciate it more. Exactly. If I would have got this when I was in high school, we chasing the women, we trying to party. Again, the beach is the women and the weather. There's plenty of things that we can do in Miami now that we're older. Yeah, we're actually a little bit more calm, a little bit more settled. You covering them. So you really gonna be in the mix there. At the end of the day, I'm covering them too, but you're actually gonna be interviewing head coaches, you're gonna be interviewing the players, you're gonna be at the games, physically at the games. I'm probably gonna be in the stands, because I gotta buy my tickets. But regardless of the fact, you really gonna be there. So I think that we're really going to appreciate that the success more now compared to if we were in our teens, or if we were in our 20s, or even early 30s. You feel me? Because right now, we're still young now. You feel me? I know you saying early 30s, y'all 50? No. You feel me? We're still young. But again, we appreciate it more, and I'm just waiting. I got my popcorn like T.O. and I'm ready. I'm ready to go ahead and have my texts go out to all those FSU fans in Miami. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I totally agree 100%.